Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's your host, Arlette, and we are joined here today by Jay and Kelley. Welcome, guys. How are we feeling?
Hey,
Hi.
doing pretty good,
Hi.
pretty good. The weather's good out here
Good.
in Dallas, so it's straight.
Nice, nice. You're in Dallas, and Kelley, you are in Phoenix, right?
Yes, in Phoenix.
Okay, so we're having our nice little gloomy weather over here. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it nice, but I know some other people would.
definitely.
I'm not a rain girl. I like the sun. I like the heat. So Arizona's perfect.
Why you're
And
here.
Dry heat,
Right?
dry
Yeah,
heat is almost
yes.
almost better. I used to live in Tucson for 7 years, so I know for sure.
Oh. And Tucson is even a little more
That's
like
great.
humid than Phoenix,
It's a
you
little
know?
bit. I
Really?
mean, it's a little
It's a
bit, yeah.
little tad bit. All right, so we had the both of you on episode 48 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you guys ended up matching. Is it a yes for you for her?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes.
We got a match! All right, I'll take the mic.
Okay. Here's that.
And you guys can go on up. Go get your girl. Make some noise for them, guys. And now, so, the comments are always going to be commenting. They had a lot to say about, the both of you actually individually. So, Kelley, we'll start with you. There were a lot of comments like, Kelley, was she interested in any of these guys? Like, she didn't really seem enthused. What was going through your mind when you came out there? Let us know, girl.
I mean, it definitely was an experience.
Hmm.
I went in a little blind. Like, I've seen clips of the show, but I wasn't really like super prepared in terms of really seeing like the full structure of how things played out. So
Mm,
it was a very spontaneous thing, and I
okay.
did the best that I could in that moment. It can be a little nerve wracking. All the lights, all the people. So it's a lot of energy just navigating through that.
Okay. So you said
Yeah.
you haven't seen the show fully. Like, what made you want to apply if you didn't see like a whole episode?
Yeah. So I have a friend that went on and she had a good experience.
Uh-huh.
That and it just popped up. I think I was on Facebook and like there was
Okay.
a recruiting like ad that I saw and I was like, well, let me just try this. Like it seems like a fun way to just approach dating and
Mm,
that was just kind of my thing. I was just being spontaneous and trying something new.
okay. And then
Yeah.
kind of to throw that question over to Jay as well. What made you want to apply to come on Pop the Balloon?
Yeah, so obviously I had seen the show before,
Hmm.
quite a few times,
Not
right?
like Kelley.
So I was like, okay, this might be something that I could do.
Hmm.
I had a previous relationship that I was out of for quite a little bit of time, and then before that, had a little bit of a break before that, and I was in a relationship with my daughter's mom a while back, and
Hmm.
so that didn't end up. Obviously, none of those ended up working out. So I figured, this might be an option. I had experience a long time ago being chosen for a network show. So it
Oh.
was I was like, oh, well, this is something similar to not on the network, but I mean, now it's, I guess,
No,
basically going to a
it
network. But before that, so congrats on that. But
Thank
before
you.
that, I had experience, with that. So I figured I would try to, give it a try and see what
Yeah.
happens for sure.
Yeah, look at that. You got a match, both of you. So,
yeah.
kind of to just dive right on in. I know everyone is just waiting to hear because there were a lot of comments doubting you guys. So, I hope y'all proved them wrong. But since you guys ended up matching, have you guys gone on a date?
I mean, you want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
Um, I'll let you go first.
Oh, God.
All right, so I will say, I think the original intention was great. We got done with the show, right? We came out,
Hmm.
we matched, and then everybody pretty much went out. We had a good time. You know what I'm saying? There was good vibes. Everything was cool. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So there wasn't like any issues. It wasn't anything crazy. Like it wasn't like one of those situations. It was like, let's try to fill each other out. and have great
Mm-hmm.
conversation and then go out. So that's what we did, right? And then I knew that once that next day I had a 4:30 a.m. flight to catch the next day, and so
Why would you
by the
do that
time
to
we got to the
yourself?
man, listen, that's how I be running my life. So we got there, we got to the venue at about 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was with my frat brother, she actually rode, I think, with one of her friends, but me and him rode together and
Mm-hmm.
we met at the venue, right? And
Okay.
where everybody was at. And so then we kind of, we had some conversation, talked about like our businesses, had a great time, grabbed a couple of drinks and things like that. And her friend was there too. And so we had some good conversation. And then after that, I obviously was still kind of partying a little bit. So I know she ended up wanting to, she was getting tired. So she ended up leaving the venue.
Mm-hmm.
There was a situation, I guess now looking back forward or looking in hindsight or whatnot, we talked about the departure, right? And so I
Okay.
already had a drink in hand. I was already partying, doing my thing or whatever, had an early flight to catch. She had to go and I was still doing, with everybody. So I asked her, I said, hey, do you want me to come out with you or whatever the case may be? And she said, no, she was okay, with that, with that. And so I was still in the venue. So she went out,
Mm-hmm.
catch a ride back or whatnot, got back. And then I flew out in the morning to go back to Dallas. I got back to Dallas and then was like, hey, did you make it back all right? Actually, it was before my flight. I'm sorry. The timeline was before my flight. It was like 3:30 in the morning. My flight was at
Mm-hmm.
4:30, so I checked her, make sure she made it home at 3:30. She said she made it
Okay.
home. She was ready to sleep, so she slept. And then the next day, time went by. Um, I um, I did, try to connect with her. I had my daughter for the week or whatnot, so she said that it was pretty late, so she said that she would be ready to call the next day. So
Mm-hmm.
then after that, tried to call again. Then her kid got sick, so obviously you got to tend to
Mm.
your kid, so that's fine. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do with that. And then
Yeah.
after that, she got busy and she wanted to come back the next day. And then that Saturday, I guess after Valentine's Day, like
Mm-hmm.
then she was like, "Hey, I was trying to reach out to connect again or whatnot." And she said that she had already made plans with somebody. So I'm assuming that there was somebody that she was talking to. I don't know, right? But what I do know
Okay.
is I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, it is what it is, right? I'm not there. I'm not in Phoenix, so I wasn't able to curate, what happened with that. But I just figured that
Mm-hmm.
maybe she found somebody. Maybe she found somebody else. Maybe she was already had plans with somebody or something like that. And so after we got back, after that weekend had passed or whatnot, we just pretty much decided, or I guess at that moment it was more so of a, hey, let's just be friends, right? I think that
Mm.
maybe there were obviously she can tell you her take on it, but I know her
Yeah.
take was that there was
But
less.
let's hear from her, Jay. Don't worry. We go.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll let her tell it. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, the
Okay.
final result is obviously that we did not make it to the date. We did not, after we matched, we did not make it to the date. It was something that was proposed to do, but it just
Mm-hmm.
never
It didn't
happened.
happen. Okay.
Obviously we're in two different states. We got two different things going on. She got kids, I have a kid, and things
Mm-hmm.
just happen. And so, things
Okay.
happen.
Let's
So,
let's
and I get it. That's
let's
fine.
let's hear
So.
from Kelley real quick here. So Kelley, how
Yeah.
about for you? Just let me know everything. Why didn't the date happen? You guys went out with friends. Like, let me know all of it from your perspective.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like right after right after we matched. I knew he was
Mm-hmm.
flying out early, and it was kind of proposed like, hey, like my friend's here, and I'm like, I have my friend here too, like let's all go out.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up turning into like pretty much everyone from that episode. We all went out together. We went to one venue and I met him there, and conversation was good. Like we
Mm-hmm.
connected. His friend was like connecting with my friend, all good. And then we decided to go to a club after that.
Okay.
So basically, we went to a second venue where I rode with him and his friend.
Okay.
And then, I think there was a point, it's late, right? Like drinks, whatever. I think I just had a moment where I was like, I needed water, and I like asked for water, and it wasn't like, oh, I got you kind of thing. It just felt like it was almost like a bother. And it took him a minute to actually like get that for me. And then I don't know. I think for me, I'm like not super like flashy. I'm not in the club like taking photos and like videos and just that whole scene. Like that's not really my thing. So I think that experience, it was fun, but again, I just definitely felt like a little bit of a disconnect. And then I got to the point where I was just ready to go home. So I just said like, hey, I'm gonna head home. But I feel like what I'm used to is most gentlemen will like either like offer an Uber ride or at least make sure that I like make it out okay. And that piece to me was like kind of like that was like a red flag. I was like, well, like you're like kind of caught up in this like party scene to like where you're not really taking care of me. But I think I gave a little bit of grace in the sense of like we just got off the show, like I'm just gonna kind of see how things go. I think for me, like yes, like we had multiple conversations like after, but I think our first conversation literally sounded like verbatim to like our second phone conversation. And to me, that felt really inauthentic, like almost like rehearsed. So it's like same things being said. So just like, it just felt a little inauthentic, a little flashy, just not quite my vibe. But I definitely felt like, I mean, I'm always open just to kind of like feel someone out. I think too, I run my life a little bit different. I think he's definitely on the go, which I totally respect as an entrepreneur. But in terms of like self-care and like planning, it just seems like it's like boom, boom, boom. So like, I think we had talked about me possibly coming out to see him, but it was going to be like at the same time that he has like an event going on. And like, I've been to business events, seminars, things like that. That's like not, it's like business. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't really have like, I'm a big quality time person. So like merging the two is like, that's not really it. And I think hindsight, I'm like I said, I'm always open to like learn someone's situation. I'm not going to say, oh, just because you have like a kid at a certain age that it's not going to work. I think I really have to feel out the fullness of where you are, but we're definitely in different places in terms of that. My kids are much older. I think I have a really solid, like calm, peaceful relationship with my kid's father. And I definitely felt like there's a little like tension with what he had going on. So I think that coupled with like my very short experience, it just didn't seem worth my time to invest to travel outside of state, to be with someone that I just didn't feel like really could intentionally do like the very like what I feel like is bare minimum things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so what would you say, did you guys have like a final conversation just being like, hey, we're going to be friends, or it was a message? How did that last?
Yeah, I think I definitely sent a message and I was like, hey, like I said something along the lines of like I wish I could I wish I could go back and see. But I definitely said if you're ever in Phoenix, like let me know kind of thing.
Okay.
I saw like potential in this, but I no longer am seeing potential in it. Like and I know he'll be out here like in June or something like that. But yeah, like safety and security for me in terms of like setting things up, that has to be like 100% like dialed in. Otherwise, me going out of state as a woman, like that's not really a thing.
Right. And my thing was I did say I'm gonna be out there in July. I have an event that I have to go, like a big event that I have to be part of in July. I know we did talk about, if we wanted to connect, that's fine. In my mind at that at during that time was, I think there could have been a little bit more, I think, time to hopefully get to know each other better, to kind of fill each other out. But like, like we were saying, that next week I had an event. I had to go to Atlanta for an event, and I also had to go speak in Austin, at South by Southwest. So it was just kind of one of those scenarios where it's like, after I get done, because I had to talk to some, people about business and some VC stuff for the company, blah, 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 blah. So I needed to get out of that first before I can plan for the next run, right? So the goal was to settle down once I got back from out of town and then say, hey, what does your calendar look like for this time or this month or whatever the case may be? And then we can set it up. Right. But it
Okay.
just, like I said, it takes time to get all that stuff, set up the way we want. But it just ended up not working out the way we wanted. So it's cool.
So when she had sent that message, were you shocked by it, or did you feel like that was coming?
Um, I don't know. I kind of want to say maybe a little bit of both. I was more
Okay.
shocked about the message on after Valentine's Day than the message
Uh-oh.
about that. So
What
I
happened
think,
after
I
Valentine's
mean, I
Day?
don't think that should be a shock. Like,
well,
I
no,
just,
the oh, go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
I mean, I think too, like, personally, like, if it's like a new interest, like being out of state, like, I got a text message. Not that like I'm entitled to anything, but I would expect, like, especially being out of town, like, if you're seriously interested, then I don't know. I would have expected something. So I think I was just like, I got like a happy Valentine's Day, like early in the morning. I was like, thank you, like cool. And then like late that night, I was like, I don't know, like 11:30, and I think he's like, I hope that like we can like connect tomorrow. And I'm kind of like in my head, I'm like, personally, like I don't hope for things. I say like, what's your availability? I'm gonna like lock in time. That's kind of what I felt like should have happened, but it didn't. And I did have plans, and basically I just said like, I have plans tomorrow, so it's not going to work. But I mean, I am single, like I am dating, like I'm actively dating. I think that's a very normal thing. Not in a committed relationship, but definitely just getting to know like what works for me and what doesn't, and prioritizing things that make sense, like people that are putting in like real effort. So, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay. So you
Yeah.
felt like by Jade not like doing anything for Valentine's Day, you felt like there wasn't like really any effort there?
I mean, it's like also new, right? So like I can't be like, it's not necessary, but I have met people that have done things for me that I guess
Okay.
I'm just, I don't know. I just am used to just
Okay.
a different experience, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
we talked
see.
about expectations. It's just everybody has different expectations, right? Like if I'm going out
Yeah.
somewhere to another place, another state, another location, and I just met somebody, right? Like, and we're in the middle of our regular lives. Like for me, the expectation um, isn't necessarily, hey, I'm gonna go all out for this person, but just to plan, hey, these are things that we can do another time, right? I think we had episode that was that weekend of the 8th night, so it was just a couple of days later um for uh for Valentine's Day. And of course everybody has their own life, right? So like of course everybody's dating. Everybody's has things going on. And so, of course, that's expected. I just wanted to make sure that at the time, there wasn't an expectation I was to be thrown off by. And that's it. Like, it wasn't nothing too major. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Understandable.
yeah.
Oh man, well that's unfortunate. But so just, kind of wrap this up. Are you guys working on any projects or anything that, the viewers and all the people can support you with?
I'll let her go first and I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am hosting a mini market. It's in Uptown
Okay.
Phoenix. It's actually really cool. We're gonna have like a belly dancing class, so
Wow.
like a really cool experience. And then just a few vendors, a few local, just artists, things like that. But I do own a lash studio in Phoenix, and I specialize in hair removal as well, so sugaring.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, nice.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
then
this. Yeah, I
Mhm.
really appreciate that.
oh,
Thank you.
and so to if someone wanted to like book your lashes, they just go to your Instagram, or do you have a website?
Yeah, I have a website. It's avellabeautyaz.com. And Avella is spelled Avella, beautyaz.com.
Okay, perfect. Y'all make sure you book her. And now, Jay, what about for yourself?
Just really working on this project. There's a podcast episode I'll be coming out on pretty soon called Cars and
Okay.
Finance. So
Hmm.
just everybody will have to stay tuned for that. The concept is pretty cool. It's the first one for this particular producer,
Hmm.
changing up some things from the way he's done other podcasts. And so I'll be the first episode for that as well. And we'll be talking about things from credit to house financing to car financing to building wealth, so all kind of different things regarding finance. Outside of that, I'll be obviously continuing to transitioning my company over to an ed tech firm, which I'm finding
Nice.
out Silicon Valley is a little bit of a different beast, right? So in tech, so stay tuned for movements towards that. And there are some individuals who reached out from the episode that needed some help in school and tutoring. So if anybody needs help in school, we definitely can handle that. Yeah, we can handle that, right? So
All
it's
right,
all
nice.
good.
Well, okay. Well, I hope your business continues to grow. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and, speaking your mind, saying your piece. It was a pleasure having you guys back on, honestly.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I do appreciate that. Thank you much.
All right, of course. And everyone at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time.